All right, so if you have made it this far, I applaud you because some of the stuff can be dry, some of it can be just not really cool or fun if it's not your thing. Um, Personally, I love intelligence. I love doing things like this. They've got these things called capture the flags. A Google a day is one of them. And they give you like a picture, and essentially it says find where this picture was taken. Doing reverse image searches, doing all kinds of stuff like that. It's it's about 5 in the morning now, so I still am a little sleepy. I apologize, but yeah, so it's a lot of fun to do that kind of stuff for some people. Again, not everybody. What I'm gonna do here is show you this little start me page that I have borrowed information from lots of other start me pages, and it has basically it's all the stuff that I do at work. I deal with IP addresses a lot. Again, I am in the cybercrimes unit, working specifically as a member of the Central Florida Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. Brief synopsis of that is we get cyber tips from NCMEC, the National Center for Exploited Missing Children, and a lot of those involve um, child pornography and IP addresses. So we utilize a lot of different tools to find out who the owner of the IP address is, and then we knock on their door. But there are some other stuff in here that is useful that you guys might find helpful. And if you guys do want access to this, because it is restricted, just let me know. I will give you access. Um, I've got an original copy and a copy that I share with everybody because I do make it editable for you. So I would ask that you first make a copy of it if you plan on editing anything, and then just if there's stuff on here like that you're never going to use, if you have no intent on ever going on the dark web, you can just delete this. If you've got no intent on ever doing any kind of sockment or social media intelligence, you can delete some of this stuff. But there are some very, very good, useful tools in here. Almost 6 now, so still a little sleepy. Sorry. You may ask yourself, why would I possibly want to look at a Vindicoder? I've got access to David, or I have FCIC, NCIC. Well, I don't know why you would, but it's here in case you want to use it. Now there are some actually really, really good practical applications for it, and I'll let you, figure that one out on your own. But um, again, these are just links that are going to take you to certain things. And the IP addresses, like I said, I talked about that a moment ago, how I utilize that. But how would you utilize that? So a real life example, I am a member of a organization. I'm gonna actually have to type it in because I forget what it actually stands for. High Technology Crime Investigation Association. So there's this list serve or serve group or email chain, or whatever you want to call it, and somebody blasts a email out, and they're a 911 operator in Bodunk. I don't know where it was, but they said, "I need help. I have," and this was a Sunday morning around 6 o'clock. I have an IP address. We have a 17-year-old who called into a suicide hotline, and obviously, if they only have an IP address, um, that would have meant that they probably would have been doing it off of a VoIP, which I know you guys were getting a lot of spooks with those, but maybe more specifically, they could have been using some kind of service that directly was from like a laptop or an application on your phone, and it didn't associate a phone number. But anyway, they were able to get a hold of the suicide hotline, said they had strapped some explosive devices to their chest. They were 17 years old. Their name was Cass, and they were planning on killing themselves. Made no mention of hurting anybody else, but again, they had an IP address. So this 911 operator reached out to somebody who happened to be a member of this organization, sent it out, And we worked till around 11 o'clock in the morning. I mean, and these are some of the most brilliant minds in the intelligence world that I know or I've ever heard of. Um, I'm not one of those brilliant minds. I just happen to like watch what they're doing and I'm like, ooh, that's kind of cool. But we were able to get it down to a town. Um, the internet service provider was subsidized, and it could have been one of 200 people, essentially, at the end of the day, which really sucked and was disappointing. But uh, we're going on 2 weeks ago now, and still nobody has in that town uh, blew up. And as far as we know, everything's good. So that's something that you could do. Um, and I'm just going to go here. So we'll use my IP address. What is my IP address? We can, no, we're not trace any emails today. We're just, what is my IP address? Okay. Now we'll back here. Um, my favorite one to utilize is CentralOps. And let's say that was the information that we had, that IP address. What it's going to give us and the stuff to really pay attention to, it's not going to pinpoint exactly where I am. I just realized I'm still here. Sorry. You're still looking at me. What it's going to do, it's going to tell you who the service provider is. If you didn't already see the word frontier at the top, you can see it right here. Um, it does do frontier, 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 frontier. So we know Frontier is my service provider. It also gives you a general area. So it did say in here Temple Terrace. Um, sometimes it'll say Tampa. Sometimes it'll say Temple Terrace. This is actually the first time I've ever seen it say Temple Terrace. And coincidentally, I live about 200 yards from Temple Terrace. So, I mean, this is actually a little bit more accurate than I've ever seen it. But so what could we do with this? Now, in the other case I was talking about, we got a hold of the hostmaster, which was a guy named Ryan something, and I mean, it had something like this. It said hostmaster, but it actually had his name, and we researched him and found his address, and gave that to the local agencies. They went out to the welfare check or attempt to contact rather, and said, "Hey, get your butt out of bed. Let's figure out who this IP address belongs to." So, but we're not doing that right now. Uh, we know we have Frontier. What we can do now is go to a site is search. So this will have all your ISP. I mean, what's Frontier? Frontier Communications. Okay, so this gives us all the information for Frontier, legal compliance, subpoenas, and we could of course call here, and that would be, we could probably get or we could just read this and it says, for emergency IP or telephone related requests during non-business hours, contact Frontier Security, and here's their phone number. They do have an exigent circumstance form that they do require you to fill out. I will tell you from experience, what they do is they ask you the information, they ask you for your email address. Okay. They're going to email you this form while they're asking you the information that they need for that form. All that information they're going to be more than likely filling out for you as well. And by time you have everything done, they've already started this ping. Okay. And then they're going to send you another email with the filled out form, which you're just going to sign either digitally or you can print it out, sign it, scan it, and then email it to them, or you can fax it to them. Um, and of course, subpoenas are not hard to get for this kind of thing. If you need help in getting one for an emergency request, please contact me. I am on the 8th floor. My desk phone number is 813-276-3287. Cell phone is 813-422-4451. Or you can send me an email, william.neckler@tampagov.net. I can almost guarantee you I will get a subpoena for you in about 15 minutes. So, I mean, of course, I'd probably have to wake somebody up, which would make them a little angry, but it can be done. So, um, in that particular case I just talked about, this was not an option. For whatever reason, this provider did not have the ability to do that, which kind of sucked. So some of the other stuff that we did is we went to this site, and they gave us a lot of the same stuff. Sometimes it'll give us a little bit more. It'll tell you if it's Tor or not also. Tor browsers or Tor relays, the way they work, not to get too technical, but imagine 3 different IP addresses. So there's this one, I'm the original guy, and I'm going to hop over here, and then I'm going to hop over here, and this is where I'm going to be broadcasting from. So it's going to look like I'm in Texas when I'm actually in Florida. So there's really not a whole lot more information here. Um, of course we've got this also, and this is same thing that we had earlier. Okay, here's what we're talking about. Submit all. See how it just like blew up my screen? And it may have actually frozen, which is going to make me sad. Let's see what we can do about this. Okay, I got one. So this is all the different, or a vast majority of the different tools that we were just using. I shouldn't ask it to do anything more than just what it wants to do. No, thank you. Well, we're gonna have to go ahead and pause this until we can so as you see, that completely is not what I expected to happen, but you never know what could happen. And that's a good example of why you may not want to hit populate all, because if that was your CAD, um, and you're now, you've got like uh, units 1023 for, unless it's 1046, Oscar 6 copy of 1010, Oscar 61 copy of 650. You know how it can be. So, um, just do it one at a time, maybe. But that's some of the other stuff that you can do with IP addresses. So I guess we're gonna we'll end that right there, and hopefully you guys learn a little bit about IPs.